It's no wonder why the city of Fresno and so many Valley businesses choose McHenry Protective and Investigative Services. With over 50 years of experience in public safety and security, McHenry's team of experts will safeguard
maximum flexibility, built with adjustable flip-up and slide under shelving and stackable crisper drawers. It's the refrigerator that flexes to fit it all, no matter what your day will bring. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Hi, I'm John Malice. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV. Sorry we're a little bit late in getting on the air today at about 10:08. We're having some technical difficulties once again here at Connect with Me. But anyway, we have a show. It's about the Japanese monument that's out at Simonian Farms. We'll have the man himself in the studio today. You can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. When you do get that recording on the telephone, just hit option 11. We'll put you through on the air. Today's program sponsored by McHenry Protective Services. Again, sorry for the tardiness today. 8 minutes after the hour. Back in a moment.
Tonight I want to discuss the importance of the television medium to the American people.
You know, I'd rather get an hour on this program, but I guess I'll take what I can get here on the broadcast. Connect with me on MeTV Fresno on this Wednesday morning. McHenry Protective Services are sponsored today. If we have a program tomorrow, it'll be Becky Cinema. If we have a program on Friday, it'll be Peter Nazaridian. We're not sure yet. We're having some technical issues, so we'll see if we even get on the air tomorrow here. Going to try to fix those. I mean, it's really, you know, I'm really... just don't like going on the air. I mean, this show starts at 10, not at 10:08, not at 10:10, not at 10:09. I'm on time at 10 o'clock. I expect a full hour. If we can't get it, then we'll try to fix the problems and come back on the air whenever we can get to that one full hour. At any rate, let's get right to the heart of the program today, and that is, if you were to take a wild guess as to what are the most embarrassing and maybe the most shameful chapter in United States history, what do you think it would be? What's your wildest guess? What's one of the darkest chapters in American history? Let's roll the videotape and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, my friends. It is not a pleasant topic. It is a very difficult topic indeed. So there it is right there. It all happened during World War II. right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And that's what caused many Americans to fear and distrust the Japanese people, even those who were born in this country. And so maybe the darkest chapter would be the Japanese internment camps. And it was that fear that caused President Franklin D. Roosevelt to sign an executive order on February the 19th, 1942, that basically said that all Japanese Americans would be forced into internment camps. That was roughly 2 months after Pearl Harbor. Thus, the relocation of the Japanese people began in April of that same year. Many lost their homes, their farms, and they were forced to live in empty shacks or barracks. The conditions were deplorable. Japanese were forced to work into the camps all day long. They had never shown any disloyalty to the United States, by the way, yet they were only allowed one suitcase per family. Many items were not allowed. And in fact, some of the prisoners made their own furniture out of scrap wood, believe it or not. Now keep in mind, some of the people here in this area tried to help the Japanese in various ways, but many feared they would be accused of helping the enemy. Nothing, absolutely nothing could make up for the horrible way that these people were treated. Some of the prisoners were beaten for absolutely no reason. Some were shot if they threatened authority or got too close to the fences. Many had multiple bruises and other injuries, and some of the Japanese were kept in steel block cages. Many came to think of themselves as being inferior, in fact, my friends. The camp hospitals were limited, and only the critically ill were allowed to stay in. The last camp was closed down back in 1946. Live in our studio now is Dennis Simonian of Simonian Farms, who had a Japanese memorial built right on site from wood that actually came from one of those World War II Japanese internment camps. He is here to tell his story. Maybe you already know about it. They built a monument back in 2013 with some help from friends and a lot of donations, and we'll tell you the man who actually designed it and built it. Dennis is here to tell his story. 436-ME-TV, option 11. When you get the recording, hit option 11, and then we'll put you in on the air. We thank Dennis for his time. Back in just a moment.
When you're looking for KitchenAid innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, we'll help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified KitchenAid appliances save you energy and money, and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Take a look at this. Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
We're back here on the program, a shortened version of this program today. We're having technical difficulties, so get in while you can. 436-ME-TV, option 11. You get the recording, hit option 11, and we'll put you in on the air. Dennis, glad that you're here, and I really appreciate it. This is a very emotional topic for you, and I say this is one of the darkest, one of the most embarrassing chapters probably in American history. There's no doubt about it. And you took money out of your own pocket to build this thing. Am I right?
That's true. We're probably our Simonian Farms, or myself and my family. They're only the other monuments that are built with the funds for the Japanese Americans who raised them themselves. But ours, we built it ourselves and dedicated. And I dedicated it to 3 different families. And
I want to let you name the families because the pronunciations are very hard, so go ahead.
The Machizuki family, which was about 2 miles away from us, who had a fruit stand. The Takahashi family, who had a fruit stand on Herndon and Clovis. And the Hayashi family, there's 2 brothers there. And that family, they're in West Fresno.
Okay, take a phone call here real quick. Good morning, you're on Connect with me with Dennis Simonian, man who has a big heart. Go ahead.
Good morning to both of you gentlemen.
Hi, can you speak up a little louder, please?
I said good morning to both of you gentlemen.
Good morning.
Mr. Simonian, I know the name very well because I used to live in a Fowler area.
Oh, boy.
And I had a very, very dear friend that went through this deportation of them for being in those camps. And I just want to say that there is a lot of people there in the Fowler area that helped a lot of these Japanese people. They
Absolutely.
did take over their farms, and they held on to them as best they could until a lot of them returned. Now, isn't that true?
That's very true. There's lots of these stories. I hear them every day. People come to me and tell me their father helped this Japanese family when they got out. The Parnagans, just Fowler Packing, just told me a story about their father doing this, and one after another, you hear these stories. But there's some that took advantage of them too, you know.
Yes,
and
there is. And I mean, they bought their farm for a dime.
beg your pardon?
You'll have to speak up, ma'am, so we can hear you on the
Oh,
air.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of them that did buy their farms like for a dime, you know. They did take advantage.
Or they owed money on their farms, and the government, you know, they couldn't pay the taxes, and they just took them, and the government sold them at auctions. And not only that, businesses in San Francisco, this one man, when we dedicated it, he stood up there in our dedication and talked about first they took their house, the next thing they took their store, and it was one thing, you know, one story after another. But there's a lot that did help. There's a lot that did help.
Yes. A lot of people should remember some of the good, too, not just the bad. Because,
Oh, absolutely.
like I said, there is a lot of good-hearted people out there.
Yeah.
And the Japanese people that return home, like my friend, I don't know if you're allowed to name any names over the air, are you?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was the Nakamura family and the Yoshidas. They were from Fowler, and they had their places taken care of, and they came back, and they were so grateful. And they lived on their ranches until, you know, Mother Nature and God decided, okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to thank those people that took a hand and helped them instead of the ones that turned their faces around and said, okay, you're out of my life now.
Well,
but the kindness of those other people, I would like to remember the most.
those are the people that we all should be like, and we all, you know, those are the salt of the earth people that help others like that. We were put on this earth for a purpose, and that was probably their purpose of helping, and they did what God wanted them to do. I firmly believe that.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Simonian, for doing what you're doing.
Oh, I
Continue to do the good work.
appreciate
Fowler
that.
is a wonderful little town.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that nice call. I appreciate it. Let's roll a videotape. It's called Tower. I want to roll a videotape called Tower, and you can go ahead and explain the Japanese monument out there. You put up your own money to build it. Tell us from start to finish. Here it is right here. Tell us from start to finish how this all came about. Where did this wood came from? An original internment camp from where? Colorado?
Colorado internment camp, which was the Poston camp.
The Poston camp.
And we built a new barn with like a black. Anyway, the people who did the inside of the barn, called Daniel's Woods Products, called me on the phone after they had built the barn inside, did all the work, and they worked with all old lumber. And he told me he got 40 truckloads of lumber out of Parker, Arizona, and I couldn't believe it. He said, I don't know if it's going to cost me so much to get this wood here. And I said, well, where could you get 40 truckloads of lumber from somewhere? And he said, it's in Parker, and it came out of an internment camp, and it's been sitting there for 60 years. And then my head started rolling, and then I thought, and that's how it all started. With Daniel's Woods product out of Paso Robles.
So you thought it was a good idea to use the original wood?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't have done it if I wouldn't have had the original wood. It meant so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and that wood is, well, it's more than 70 years
Yes,
old now. So, and it's still standing, still strong. And so you had 40 truckloads brought in?
No, not me. Daniel's Wood Products did.
But they brought 40 truckloads of that wood.
To Paso Robles, and they use it on different other projects.
Okay.
And then when I asked him about making
I see.
the thing, he designed 3 different ones.
And the designer was?
Ron Daniels.
Ron Daniels is the one who designed it. And so you talked to Ron while this wood was all over there at Paso Robles, right?
Yeah, he had already started getting it. He was still getting it, but it was coming in, and and I always wanted to do something for these families who I knew were in the camp, who helped me throughout my life, and showed me how to farm, basically, because they forgot more than I will ever know. They were the greatest farmers around that generation.
But so when you corroborated with Ron Daniels, what how did it go? Did he understand what you wanted, or did you have to explain it to him a couple of times?
No. I told him I wanted to put a monument up, and he.
Well, how'd you reach the agreement as to what?
Well,
you liked
he designed 3 of them.
Okay.
And I picked this one.
Okay.
And the one thing good about Ron Daniels on this project, as far as the wood goes, he put it in his, when he gave me the cost of what it's going to cost and everything, he put in that he could never charge me for the wood, and no matter what, that was his he wanted to be part of it, because he said
so you didn't pay for the wood, but you,
it's all steel constructed inside and putting it together, but the wood itself we didn't pay for, but
you paid to have it designed and built.
Yes. Oh, that was much.
But you didn't pay for the actual wood.
The actual wood, no. That was his donation to this project, because he said this is one of the most unique things that they've ever done, and they've been in business for a long time, and they do all this kind of stuff, not monuments, but other things.
Let's roll another piece of videotape. It's called Simonian Monologue, and I haven't seen that one before, but we'll see the monument again in this video here. And so at the top of the monument, you'll see the Japanese logo or writing, whatever it may be. So tell us a little bit about what that says. That
says in Japanese, Soul Consoling Tower.
Okay.
And that's basically what it really, and the people that come there, and I
There's
watch
the tower right there, obviously. Well, you can see it over here too.
I watch them, and they take pictures. I've seen them stand there and cry.
The Japanese people that come and see it.
Yes. I had before we dedicated, we had a man from really, Frank Abe, come there, and he took my secretary out there and said,
"There's the Japanese lettering."
Yeah, Soul Consoling Tower, and he said, "I know this is positively the wood. You see all the cracks in these woods. You see all the knot holes in there." He said, "We had to stick paper in there to keep all the sand. Otherwise, every day our place would be filled up with sand from the dust coming off of the desert." And he said, and he stood there and just cried with her. And it just gives them a self of comfort, I think.
Yeah, some black and white photos, of course, of the some of the camps and the internment camps, and I just want to say that about 120,000, roughly so, Japanese Americans who lived on the West Coast, they had to leave their homes, they had to leave their own farms, and they were put into these camps surrounded by barbed wire, security guards, armed guards. And if they challenged any of these guards, they were shot. They tried to escape, they were shot. They were routinely beaten for no reason. Have you ever talked to these any of these Japanese Americans that were interned, and what the conditions were like, and what they went through?
Just like I said, they were like like one, there was 10 or 12 people, families, and one just 10
One
by
barracks
10,
area.
one little barrack, and
Yeah.
it was humiliating for them. And that's why it was so humiliating when they got out of there. They didn't ever want to talk about it. I've had children ask, I couldn't get my father to tell me anything. I try to ask him questions. That's the good of these people. They came back after the camp, and that's why, they came back and worked hard, and they lost their ranches, and they worked hard and got and bought other ranches and started all over again, and became model citizens, and their children were the same way. When we dedicated, George Chicata was our MC, and he asked me one question thing. He says, "What did you learn from all these people?" And I said, you know what I learned every time I went to their ranches to buy tomatoes from them or anything, vegetable, every person was working hard. They all got in and pitched together as a family and worked hard, and they taught me to be honest, and they taught me to be just not anything I could learn in a book, just by visually seeing them. And it meant so much to me. I learned so much from these people, and they were so good. And their children became doctors and attorneys and dentists, and they bettered themselves. They didn't come here and be mad at our government for what they did. They just put their head in the sand and worked hard.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Dennis Simonian of Simonian Farms is our guest today, talking about the Japanese internment camps, and we're going to talk more to Dennis about what he learned and what the Japanese taught him about farming, and also what other influences they had, because you were only, 16 years old?
When I started, yeah. When I started met the Takahashis, I was 16 years old.
So what other life lessons you may have learned? We'll get to that. 436, MeTV option 11. We'll let you know that today's program is shortened, but when you get that voicemail, just hit option 11. Today's program sponsored by McHenry Protective Services. Back in a moment. It's no wonder why the city of Fresno and so many Valley businesses choose McHenry Protective and Investigative Services. With over 50 years of experience in public safety and security, McHenry's team of experts will safeguard you, your commercial property, and your next big event. Professional service, marked patrol vehicles, 24-hour dispatch, and friendly, observant, and responsive armed and unarmed guards are just a few of the reasons you should contact McHenry at 559-478-7747 or visit them online at mchenryprotection.com.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the low-price leading brands reliable advice place. The Frigidaire Gallery Dream Kitchen Get Yours Today place. You with me? Right now get huge savings on select Frigidaire Gallery appliances and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months at the hometown low price think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Back here on the program with Dennis Simonian, and he is the owner of Simonian Farms. And I know you took on a lot when you were 16 years old. You took over the family farm and had to work and became the sole breadwinner at 18. And, you helped your sister out, you helped your family out, but you also helped out many of the Japanese Americans that were going through so much. I got to ask you, because at the time, I mentioned this in the monologue, that Americans who were here, who were not Japanese, of Japanese descent, many were afraid to help the Japanese people for fear that they might be accused of helping the enemy. This was right after Pearl Harbor. Did you ever find yourself in a position where maybe I shouldn't be doing this because I might get some backlash from somebody, maybe somebody from the government?
No, John, it's a little bit reversed. They helped me.
Who's they?
The Japanese Americans that I dealt with.
Okay.
They're the ones.
I'm talking about our government. Did you fear any backlash?
From my government? But I wasn't helping I wasn't helping them at 18 or 16 years old. They were helping me. They taught me how to raise watermelons. They taught me how to prune trees. They taught me how to irrigate. They taught me how to raise strawberries, boysenberries, and those type of things.
But you helped them after.
I didn't help them. No, I bought things from them, if you call that helping.
Okay.
But I didn't really help them.
You didn't really assist them in any way.
No, absolutely. It was just a reverse. They helped me. They helped me as a young boy and to better myself. And two of them, actually, we had our fruit stand, and two of them had their own fruit stands, and they still helped me. We were close by each other, and they helped me. No, it's more than I helped them. They helped me. No, that's the main thing here. And me doing that's why I built the tower, because I wanted to honor them for what they did for me.
Right. Okay. I want to read something that you wrote, and you wanted to make part of this clear. The hope is that visitors will feel a symbolic loss of their own freedoms for a moment or two. You were talking about as they stand out there and they look at that monument. I want to roll the videotape, and I want to roll a videotape called Outside. Let's roll the tape that's called Outside. You basically want people to take a moment or two and look up into the sky, look at that monument, and what message do you want that monument to send to them?
Well, I actually, Ron Daniels was the person who designed it, and that's what he wrote and thing, and he wanted things. So there's two doors going in. The door that you walk in and you stand inside, and there's another door to go outside, and they want people to maybe feel a little claustrophobia in that, and also it's open on top, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel, you might say, and that's what they want people to see. And then the other door was the door of freedom, hoping there's going to be a door of freedom. When they went in those camps, they didn't know if they're going to be there for their lifetime. They had no idea what was going to happen with the war or whatever, So, yeah, that was when he drew it up. That was part of his.
Because this is part of an email that you sent me, so I thought that you had written part of this.
No.
But many of these people here, as we take a look at Simonian Farms, they were they had the internment camps, hang on caller, in California, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Arkansas. I don't know if there are any other states involved. So, caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Dennis, let me first say I commend you for the type of person you are. How you were saying that the Japanese helped you and not the other way around. A lot of people wouldn't say that, because some people are greedy and all that, but by listening to you, that's why I love listening to people, because they're sincere. And you learned at an early age how they work, and they taught you what they knew so you could expand. And you put a lot into your farm. I could remember going down Clovis and seeing it when it was small.
A shack.
And I go, man, and they're bringing a lot of people, but you know what it was? It was everything that you did for them. In return, God would turn your business or Simonian Farms to a bigger thing. And people like you are one in a million. And I truly, I can say that. And you're going to expand even more. And by having them, you telling them their story about the Japanese and what they lost and how they picked up what they had and they started all over. That's like you. You're not a person to think about yourself, but the people that helped you along the way. I commend you. Thank you for that.
I appreciate that very much. That means a lot to me.
All right, let's roll another piece of videotape. It's called Internment Camps. No sound on this one. We can kind of talk over it. And so, why in your mind were these people put in these camps to begin with? What's your wildest guess?
Well, I would think they probably thought they were going to go against the government or go against the United States of America. I don't know. the whole thing is crazy. I mean, I got a thing that one of my classmates, Jack Hasagawa, and his father was and mother were in the camp, and his father did not want to have his child be born in the camp, so they volunteered to go work on these sugar beet farm in Colorado. And when they went there, Jack was born, and then they came back to the camp, and his father volunteered to go in the army. His father and it was that battalion who lost more men than any battalion in history. And when he got out of the army, his 2-year stint or whatever it was, this is my classmate's father, that they put him back in the camp.
Yeah.
So why is all this happen? I can't answer that. I don't know. You know, I was young too. And
did you understand it at the time?
No, I didn't understand it when I was the Takahashi. One of the brothers tried to talk to me about the camp, and I didn't understand. He was upset, and I didn't because in our history classes they never talked about this, and my classmates who were in the camp never talked about it. So it was like it never happened. How many
classmates did you have that were in the camp?
I had 28 classmates that were in the camp at from Sanger High School.
Wow. And what year was that, Dennis?
I graduated in '61, so I went from 57 to 61, and they were in my class, 28 classmates.
Okay, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead. Speak up loudly, please.
I can you hear me all right?
Yeah, just speak up. Go ahead, louder.
All right. Anyway, my comment was I can remember in school it was an issue for the debate team. Executive Order, I think it's 9066 by FDR.
Yeah.
There was high hysteria right after Pearl Harbor, and I know there was a great deal of concern on the part of the Roosevelt administration that the Japanese Americans in the West might become attacked, might become subjects of derision by the locals, kind of like the anti-Islamic sentiment that we're experiencing in the United States right now, only amped up tenfold. The Japanese were in danger, maybe, this is debatable, in danger of being retribution from the U.S. Pro-U.S. or patriotic, super patriotic Americans thought that the dastardly deed done to the United States in Pearl Harbor was reason enough to act on maybe primal instinct. So I think a point should also be, well, that comment should indicate that the hysteria at the time can't really be duplicated in history books, but was there nevertheless.
Okay, no question, but just kind of a comment. Dennis, go ahead.
Well, my comment, do you know that our government went also into Peru and took the Japanese? They were Peru citizens. They spoke Spanish, and they took them out of Peru, and they took them out of their businesses, and took them to Corpus Christi, Texas. And when the war was over, the Peru government didn't even want them back. Does anybody? Why did we have to go to Peru? What were we afraid of there? I don't understand. You know, I don't understand the whole thing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's quite shameful and certainly a dark chapter in American history, as we all know. The Japanese got reparations, of course, many years ago. $20,000 per Japanese family, I believe. That was the amount way back when. This was like at least 2 decades ago.
Only if you're living.
Yeah, only if you're living, you got the money.
You got it, and not the siblings didn't get anything.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So to each individual that was still alive during that time, and that was maybe it was 25 years ago.
No, I don't think it was in the well, it could
might
be.
have been in the 80s. Late 80s.
I have it written down. I can't remember.
Yeah, they had that.
Yeah.
And you think that was an appropriate move by the United States government?
No, I don't.
No,
think
I mean
so.
the reparations.
Oh, give him the $20,000 bucks for that? Probably should have given them each one $1 million. I mean, you know, to incarcerate them for that and lose all $20,000. I mean, it's almost, to me, that's just a slap in the face.
Right, because many of them lost everything. They lost
Yeah.
their farms, they lost their livelihood.
They lost their dignity. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
They lost their dignity. Then that's why I built. You know,
that's why you built the monument.
The monument. That, you know,
Exactly
to come back and to let it all go and just sit there and look at it.
Right. Hey, Dennis Simonian is our guest. He's promised that he'll come back at some other point here. Right, Dennis? You're going to come back again and talk about
I guess if you want me, I don't know how good I am, John.
No, you're good. You're generating some calls here. 436-MeTV, option 11. You hit the recording, just hit option 11. We'll get you in. McHenry Protective Services, your sponsor today. Back on the program in a moment.
The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance. Enjoy generous-sized cooktops and sauté or simmer with ease, while true convection ovens offer even baking and juicy roasting perfection. Foods stay their freshest in spacious refrigerators with convenient controls and clear filtered ice and water. Easy-to-clean surfaces reduce fingerprints, and the quietest of dishwashers makes cleanup a snap. The new Frigidaire Professional line at Ventura TV Video Appliance.
It's no wonder why the city of Fresno and so many Valley businesses choose McHenry Protective and Investigative Services. With over 50 years of experience in public safety and security, McHenry's team of experts will safeguard you, your commercial property, and your next big event. Professional service, marked patrol vehicles, 24-hour dispatch, and friendly, observant, and responsive armed and unarmed guards are just a few of the reasons you should contact McHenry at 559-478-7747 or visit them online at mchenryprotection.com.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, our west coast became a potential combat zone. Living in that zone were more than 100,000 persons of Japanese ancestry, 2/3 of them American citizens, 1/3 aliens. We knew that some among them were potentially dangerous. Most were loyal. But no one knew what would happen among this concentrated population if Japanese forces should try to invade our shores. Military authorities therefore determined that all of them, citizens and aliens alike, would have to move.
Evacuation. More than 100,000 men, women, and children, all of Japanese ancestry, removed from their homes in the Pacific Coast states to wartime communities established in out-of-the-way places. Different relocation centers in unsettled parts of California, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and Arkansas.
The Army provided housing and plenty of healthful, nourishing food for all. Their parents, most of whom are American citizens, and their grandparents, who are aliens, immediately wanted to go to work. At Manzanar, they built a lath house and began rooting guayuli cuttings. The plants, when mature, will add to our rubber supply. At Parker, they undertook the irrigation of fertile desert lands. Meanwhile, in areas away from the coast and under appropriate safeguards, many were permitted to enter private employment, particularly to work in sugar beet fields where labor was badly needed. Now, this brief picture is actually the prologue to a story that is yet to be told. The full story will begin to unfold when the raw lands of the desert turn green, when all adult hands are at productive work on public lands or in private employment. It will be fully told only when circumstances permit the loyal American citizens once again to enjoy the freedom we in this country cherish. Of course, we hope most earnestly that our example will influence the Axis powers in their treatment of Americans who fall into their hands.
Okay, so that was propaganda video that was produced way back in the 40s and made everything sound hunky-dory inside these camps for these Japanese and the Japanese Americans that were obviously rounded up like cattle in many instances and caged like animals. was absolutely horrible. So you want to comment about some of the schools?
Yeah, the schools. I asked one of the a person that I know, I won't name him, that he was in the camp. He was 13.
Yeah.
And I said, did they have doctors there? Did they have nurses?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have teachers for you and all that? And he looked at me and kind of paused because they don't want to talk about it because they're just so ashamed of what's happened to them. And we sat there for 3 hours, and it's constant me asking these questions. And he looked at me and he says, Des, you can't figure this out. And I go, what? He says, the doctors, the nurses, the school teachers, they were all part of us. They were all in the camp. They're the
Really?
Japanese Americans that were school teachers and doctors and everything. You were there. You were the doctors. You were the people that were helping. They helped their own people, you might say.
So they had no doctors from the outside come in. They.
I don't know about that, but he said that the teaching and the doctors and dentists and that probably the majority. They might have bought one doctor there who's going to take care of 18,000 people, you might say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like. So this camp was as big. The one we got the wood from, Poston, it was 18,000 there, and we got pictures in the monument. It shows different things.
I do have videotape
okay.
of that. Let's run the videotape.
And I want to talk about one picture in there.
Yeah, it's called a photograph. So let's run that, and maybe we can talk over that as soon as it comes up. Dennis, you can pick up on what we're seing there on the screen. So, yeah, right there. That's just a.
Okay, there's. Go ahead. I'm sorry, John.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
There's one other picture there. That one right there, and to get these pictures, you can't just go on the internet and pull them off. You got to get special permission.
From who?
We had to get it from a Japanese American museum in Coachella. But somebody, some way or another, you got to get permission through. I can't remember. It's been so long ago how we got. But they gave us.
What is this photograph?
This photograph shows them. See how they're working out there and they're growing their own vegetables. Well, the Indians who've been here thousands of years came to these camps and saw them growing these vegetables, and go, we've been here for 1,000 years, and how are you growing vegetables in the middle of a desert? And these people, that's how good these people were. You see about how they came out of the camp and they only helped themselves, but they helped other people.
So how were they able to do it?
They taught them. They taught the Indians how to do it.
How did they do it?
Well, teach them how to farm in the desert, probably using the water, if you had water there some way or another, but taught them how to farm these different types of vegetables and
it's amazing.
Yeah, and they're helping people while they're in, you might say, jail.
Here's some of the luggage.
Yeah, that was given to me by different families, and I have really no place to put it, so we put it out there, and we're going to take it away and one of those is, some of that is from I think the Hayashi family gave me some, and when I went there, the sons, all the clothes that came out of the camp were just put in these boxes, and they were in there, and looks like they'd never been disturbed for 60 years or whatever. They left them in there.
Gosh. Well, you should build like a little miniature museum for that luggage there.
Yeah, I know. No, we're gonna do something. Yeah.
And let's roll another piece of videotape as long as we have a chance here. It's called Luggage and Suitcases. And how many of these pieces of do you have that are sitting around, would you say, if you were going to give a rough figure?
Probably 20 or 30 that I've been given. You old pots and pans and stuff they've given to me.
These are like trunks, old
trunks. That's
trunks.
what they took. They had, they took them. Yeah, the trunks and stuff.
Yeah. Now you can't leave this stuff out in the elements.
No, I will.
It'll get ruined,
only in the
if
summer.
You're gonna close it.
In the summer, we're going to take it back and put it next to the barn, inside the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This wood now from this monument,
yes.
How is it going to be preserved?
That's a good question. There's no way of...
Because it is wood.
It is wood.
It is more than 70 years old. So how do you preserve something like that and not worry about deterioration?
I don't know, John. That's a good question.
You haven't thought about that yet?
I've thought about it, but I don't know what to do about it, you know?
Is there any way you can spray it to protect it?
Maybe I'm going to call Daniels and ask him about it.
Ron Daniels.
Yeah,
He's the architect.
He's the architect of it.
Yeah, look at that. Some of this luggage has got personal names on it dating back to the 1940s.
Oh, yes, absolutely. They were our neighbors. That's the Yamanis. They were our neighbors. And that man helped me, too, when he was like 80 years old. He taught me how to prune my fruit trees. Always helping. They are always helping, willing to help others. And they were treated so terribly.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take another quick break. 436 MeTV option 11. We're back after this from McHenry Protective Services.
Not sure what you're watching? Want to see what's coming up next? Or just want to browse what's on without the hassle of flipping channels? Your wish has come true. Now you can view schedules for all the digital TV channels available in the Central Valley. Get local weather updates and forecasts, and listen to nationally syndicated Biz Talk Radio, all on KVHF 4.1. Rescan your TV now, then tune in to Digital Channel 4.1 to start enjoying the all-new TV Guide.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the KitchenAid appliances we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Save big with KitchenAid. Right now, get up to a $1,000 prepaid MasterCard when you purchase select KitchenAid appliances. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Back here on the program with Dennis Simonian and remaining moments here. And, you know, I commend you for what you've done. And how many people would you venture to say that go out there and look at this monument? You have a lot of Japanese people that go out still. And
Yeah,
are they mainly from the Central Valley or not?
No, in fact, we have a lot of tour bus from Japan.
You do?
Lots of tour bus, and come there and see it also, and then, in fact, in February 17th, 1917, next year, I got interviewed from the library from Fresno State, and they're having a whole segment on the camps, and they want this brought out and shown what happened.
Is this for the PBS series?
I don't know what they're doing, but they want me to come there and speak and
when is
talk
this
about
now?
February 17th,
Okay.
1917.
Okay.
Henry Madden Library.
2017, you mean? 2017 of next year, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Mr. Simonian, you're an absolute awesome person, and you're an asset to our community. Thank you for what you've done.
I appreciate that, but on this thing here, it's really not about me. I want to make sure everybody understands that. I want no glory or anything off of this. This is not about me. I mean, this is my heart and soul in there, and I had to do this.
Why?
Because
Why did you have to do it?
I had to do it because I want to repay these people back that helped me when I was a young man and that's how I got ahead in life. You know, if they wouldn't have helped me, I don't know where I'd be right now, because I struggled for a long time to get where I am, and yeah, and it's not about me at all. You know, it's about these people, and thank you for what you said. That means a lot to me.
You know, I do want to roll the videotape one more time. It's called Tower. I want to take a look at the tower one more time, and I can't show this enough. It's the tower that was designed by Ron Daniels, built by Daniels.
Woodrock.
Yeah, and obviously with your blessing, you like this design here. And you know, the biggest issue now is the preservation of this. You know, how long will this be standing? Hopefully another 70 plus years, if not longer, but you got to figure out a way to do it. So when you look at this, every time you're at you know, at work at the farm, you look at this, do you tear up?
If I go inside that building,
yeah,
just like you're talking to me right now, if you look at my arms, I got goose pimples.
Yeah.
And I usually get kind of emotional with it. So, you know.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough because they did teach you a lot. You did learn a lot from the Japanese people, and the way that they were treated was certainly inhumane.
And a lot of them are my classmates, you know, and that's one of the things that my first classmate, Japanese American classmate that died, and I read the Fresno Bee, and it says he was born in internment camps, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't think ever that, I didn't even dawn on me.
Go ahead, caller.
Hello. You know, I just wanted to add just a bit to what your topic is today. If someone could research the Nihao incident that occurred immediately after Pearl Harbor, it would be it might explain a bit of why the government, the U.S. government, took the action or the direction they did toward the Japanese populace. Not that it justifies any of it, but it is an interesting part of history.
Okay.
And that's about all I had to say. It's
all right.
An interesting piece for you to research.
All right. Thank you. So in your mind, Dennis, with the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and I'm just asking, in your mind, was there any justification for the United States government to do what they did to these people?
John, that's not my. Whatever they did. It wasn't. I think they should have thought it out a little sooner than when they did this. Immediately, they had all 120,000 in the camps by April of 1942.
Yeah.
So
through 1946 is when the last camp
closed.
Yeah. So that's a long stretch.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So. Have you thought about that maybe the government should have sat back a little? But they were in a panic mode, don't forget. Pearl Harbor was bombed. They were in a panic mode.
Well, it's the same kind of thing. What's happening now? Do we go and do all what put Muslims and every other religion in camps right now because we're in a panic mode?
But certainly it was a different time, different era. And different circumstances.
I don't know. I was a baby.
Yeah, I know you were a baby at the time, so you obviously don't remember. But I mean, growing up with the Japanese people and what they taught you, you know,
it showed their character, and their character was not. I mean, why? I think they also put some Italians in
some of the camps.
Yeah, not those camps, but back east.
Yeah. That's amazing. Okay, we got about a minute left. I do want you to come back on the program and talk about the success of Simonian Farms, if you would, take the time.
Okay, if you call me, I don't know about success, but you know.
No, but everybody knows Simonian Farms, and you've been a big hit, big success out there for many, many, many years. Like I said, you took over the plant there. At the age of 18?
16, I started the retail part of the business. My dad was renting it out, actually, and he couldn't work anymore.
But then at the age of 18, you were like the sole breadwinner.
The breadwinner. My dad couldn't work anymore. Yeah. He had...
Dennis, it's an honor meeting you.
Oh, thank you, John.
It really is. No, I'm really humbled to be in your presence because of the fact that you took the time to not only show your feelings, but only show how much you care about these people and tried to understand what they went through. Yeah. Dennis, good to see you.
Thank you so much, John.
All
I
right,
appreciate
come back.
it. Yeah. God bless you.
All right. We're still on camera here, so we're going to be back tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. You know, I like the full hour show. I don't like the shortened version. See you tomorrow, maybe, or maybe on tape. Have a good day.
You know, one of the things...